I'm getting a blanket around me for this live. I'm cold. And you know what I've done? I've been out in the sun today. Apologies for everybody living in a cold country like England. Oh, it's not sunny at all. Just like getting it in there that I've been working, sunbathing in the garden while I've been working today. And you know when you get that really weird shivery feeling because you've been out in the sun too much? I've got that. So I'm literally sat here with a blanket while I talk to you today. So hello people, how are we? Welcome to Soul-Centered Millionaire TV. Episode 7 of Soul-Centered Millionaire TV, where soul meets strategy. Hey Leona, hey Andrea. So what I mean by that is if you're a female entrepreneur that runs a business that's not just a business, it's a mission, and it's something that means more to you than just money. It's something that feels like your calling. It's, yes, going to provide you, maybe already providing you, or you're looking for it to provide you with an incredible income lifestyle, but it's something that's going to provide the world with something. You know, the world will be different because you and your business is here. You know, it feels like more than a business. If that's you, then you're in the right place. And if you've never logged into one of my live TV series before, then you are going to be served up every week with a dose of no bullshit strategy, because we all need a no bullshit strategy, no matter how aligned we are and how soul-centered we are. We're in a business and we need a strategy. But actually, my journey has been a spiritual one as well as a strategic one. And I believe that, and I know you can become a millionaire and have millionaire style success without compromising who you are as an individual, without compromising your soul, and actually by tapping into that infinite potential. I call it soul or source, some people call it universe, some people call it God, some people call it intuition, higher self, call it whatever you like. When we tap into it, we access a part of us that can do, be, have, create anything. And that's what these live series are about every week. It's about strategy and source. When we combine the two, we are freaking unstoppable. Now, the last 2 weeks, I haven't done a live series because I've been away in America, and I'm going to tell you about that now. So I flew out to Florida 2 weeks ago to feature on Fox TV, and it was an incredible experience. It was surreal, really. My first TV appearance. I was there. I'd been invited out there to talk about why I believe every woman's got $1 million business inside of them, and how I help them to find that. And it was a very short interview on a morning TV show there, but it was incredible. I loved every second of it. And then what we did, we spent 2 weeks in Disney afterwards, because I thought if we're going to be in Florida, it'd be rude not to. We spent our honeymoon there 7 years ago, been together for 10 years. It's a bit of a milestone. So we decided to recreate our honeymoon. It's a really special place. And we had so much fun. We belly laughed like every day. We ate way too much food. I'm on a crash diet now. We were just being, you know, we were like kids running around Disney. We stayed in Animal Kingdom, and it was amazing. And I want to share that with you because this was our 3rd time together in Disney. And I experienced it different this time, and I'll get into the training straight after this, but I experienced Disney different this time than I have the other times. And it reminded me the importance of not feeling like something's done because we've done it once, or that there's nothing new to get from something because we've experienced it. You know, a little bit like reading a book. Sometimes you can read a book and then leave it on a shelf feeling like that's read now. But actually, if you pick that book up, the book's the same, but you're different. Therefore, you get something different from it. Different lessons, you experience it differently because you have more, maybe experience, you've been through more struggles, maybe you've been through more of what the book's describing, therefore it lands better. And Disney this time for me was a different experience to last time, because, and this is why I want to share this with you, I went to Disney 4 years ago last time, so 8 years ago, or 7 years ago when we got married, and then 4 years ago for the second time. We'd booked the holiday already, and then disaster struck in our business, in a different business to the one that I run now, but we'd lost a big contract. Our income had just disappeared overnight. We'd already paid, hey Megan, we'd already paid for the trip, like we paid for the flights and the accommodation. So we decided to still go, but I went really feeling quite scared about our future. Not in a very good place financially, and we had a villa then. And I can remember one day being in Universal Studios, and I can remember standing in the queue. Now this was just 4 years ago, folks. And I share this with you because if you're in struggle right now financially, or you're not getting the success that you want, you're not getting the clients that you want, the results that you want, I want you to know how quickly your story can change with the right action. 4 years ago, I stood in Universal, and what triggered this memory is this time round, last week we were stood in Universal Studios, a little bit hungry, and we were stood in this queue for a corn dog. Give me some hearts if you love corn dogs. It's like the best thing about America. It's not the best thing, but you know what I mean? Please don't be offended if you're American. But corn dogs are pretty cool. So I stood in the queue getting this corn dog, and I suddenly had this kind of flashback to when we were there last time. And I remembered being stood in the same queue, feeling really guilty because I was buying a corn dog. And what we'd done is, because we'd got a villa, we'd gone and bought loads of shopping, like cheap food from the supermarket, to cook meals and make packed lunches to take to the parks, because, you know, eating in the parks wasn't really a priority for us. We'd barely got any money, and we really couldn't afford the trip with everything that happened in our business. So getting a corn dog and a drink made me feel really guilty. And I can remember being stood in the queue worrying about money, not really enjoying where I was and where the experience of it to its full potential, because I was so consumed by fear. And I can remember saying to James, let's not bother with the corn dog, let's just go home and have some food at the villa, and we can call it a day today. And I'm feeling a bit tired anyway, and I made up all these excuses, and the bottom line was, it was because I was so fearful that I didn't want to part with that money for that corn dog. And that was just 4 years ago. And obviously we've just come back from Disney now, and we stayed in Animal Kingdom. We had the Disney dining plan. Money was no object. It doesn't mean we spent it frivolously, because wealthy people are smart, they don't do that. But we experienced it very differently without the scarcity. But do you know something? If I could go back and talk to myself 4 years ago, I'd say to myself, don't ruin this trip worrying about what might never happen. Be here now, be all here now. Because that shit that you're panicking about and feeling sick over, it doesn't actually come to fruition, you know? Just know that everything's gonna be okay. And just know that in a very short space of time, with the right action, you are capable of creating something incredible. 4 year ago, from not being able to afford to buy a corn dog in Universal Studios to total abundance and millionaire lifestyle. So don't underestimate yourself and what's possible for you too, regardless of where you're feeling and how you are and what your results are like now. That's not what the training's about tonight, so I'm going to get into that now. As I do, guys, give me a hashtag replay if you're watching this on catch up, but give me a hashtag live if you're here with me live tonight now, please, in the comments box. But also, let me know what you do. What type of business are you in? What's your title? So if you're a coach, say I'm a coach. If you're a trainer, say I'm a trainer. Whatever it is that you do, let me know that in the chat box. Because it's really interesting to know who everybody is, what they do, and who they help. And also, where are you in the world? Let me know that as well, because that's dead interesting. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you about becoming a well-known leader in your field, a known expert in your field, becoming the go-to person, having more influence to a point where you too can get booked for PR and media, like magazines or TV. Notice I've now got Fox TV on my backdrop. dead proud to have just been featured on TV for the first time myself. And I know that plenty of you will have that goal, and it can seem really far away for you. But bear in mind what I just said to you, that 4 years ago, things were very, very different for me too. And I want to share some do's and don'ts for you, because the don'ts are just as important as the do's. Some do's and don'ts on how you too can create massive impact in the world for your ideal client, create massive impact for you in your life, create a great income, a great lifestyle, and be a leading expert in your industry. So 3 do's, 3 don'ts. Let's get started. Do number 1. So here's what to do. Number one, be really, really clear on who you want to help and why. It's so important to have a niche. You know, most people that reach out for my help, when I start delving into their business a little bit, if they're struggling, one of the number one reasons is because they're not quite niche enough. They don't quite share effectively what their zone of genius is. And here's some thoughts on this. You know, it's really difficult to become a market leader in a particular area if you're being too generic. So many people fall into the space of being too generic because they feel like they don't want to miss out on somebody, or they might alienate a certain group and they don't want to do that. But what can end up happening is you end up trying to appeal to everybody and appealing to nobody really, because great businesses provide a solution to somebody else's problem and they articulate how they do that really well. They articulate it through branding and marketing messages, but that's done in a way that says to somebody in a snapshot, I'm the best person to help you. That person feels like you're talking to them. Great marketing isn't about standing on a stage, like it's not delivered in a way like standing on a stage to a big wide audience. It's delivered like you're talking to one person, having a conversation eyeball to eyeball. When they see your post, when they see your video, when they see your training, when they see your content, they're like, oh my God, she's talking to me. That's great branding and marketing. So you want to create that, but by creating that, you need to get really clear about who it is you want to help and how you want to help them. What do you want to be known for? That's really, really important, and being really clearly defined. So for example, saying, okay, I want to be a business coach to small businesses. I want to be a business coach to small businesses, small startups that are struggling. It sounds niche, but it's not. Because when we dig into that and start asking questions like, what's your story? And why do you feel called to do that? Someone might say, well, I'm a salon owner, or I was a salon owner. And I had successful salons, and I noticed that other people really struggled with having the same success as me because they struggled with some key fundamental points. So actually, you could be a business owner to struggling salons, a business owner to entrepreneurs with salons that teaches something really specific that you see a lot of people get wrong, and now we're becoming more niche. So we want to know, what's your story? People don't just want to know what you do, they want to know why you do what you do, what led you to where you are right now, and what's the mission that sits behind it, because people don't buy a service, they buy people. You know, if someone can relate to you and they can relate to where you were, then they can see themselves in you, and they can also imagine themselves having this kind of success that you're maybe describing to them in the way you provide the solution to that place of pain. So you want to be really clear about this stuff. So really look at your business and ask yourself, is it really clear the type of person that I help? Is it really clear how I help them? Is it really clear why I do what I do? Is it really clear what my story is? Like, am I really, really clear on this stuff? Because if I'm not, that's the first do. You must do this well. Number two, do be ridiculously visible. Ridiculously visible. Because you can have the best service in the world. You can deliver the best thing that anybody, you can be the best person at doing what you do, but it doesn't matter, because if nobody knows about you, then your business won't be successful. I see so many people spending months and months and months and months creating content that looks pretty and is awesome and would really change lives, but it's not gonna, because if you haven't mastered branding and marketing, no one's going to buy it, because people don't know that it's amazing until they've bought it already. You need them to buy it to know it's amazing. That's not going to happen unless the branding's right, the marketing message is right. And to have awesome branding and marketing, we've got to be visible. We've got to be really visible. And visible in live videos too. And that scares the shit out of some people. And it's a procrastination point. It's something that people put off, convince themselves they don't really have to do, but I'm telling you it works. If people can get to know you through a live video, not just what you do, but who you are, see themselves in you, trust you, like you, then it goes some way to them ending up becoming a paying client. Live videos are so important in the pursuit of this big influence and becoming a market leader. They get you noticed. They help people to understand what your unique brilliance is. your personality, your quirks, what makes you different. Do you know what? Live videos are solely responsible, and I mean this, solely responsible for me being able to fly to America last week and feature on Fox TV. Because I was the person that was so introverted and lacked in confidence in this space so much. I'm not saying I wasn't a confident person, but when it comes to confidence in public speaking, I was the least confident person ever. I never thought that I could be comfortable in front of any sort of camera. James was always that person, my husband was always that person. When we were in business together previously, and we were in a business where it required him to be on a microphone, on stage, and I used to watch him in awe, and I'd think, oh, I could never do that. I could never be up there with all those people looking at me. I remember going to a circus once, and one of the clowns picked on me and tried to get me into the audience, and I felt physically sick. And I'm looking for the door thinking I need to pretend that I'm going to be sick. I need to pretend there's an emergency. I need to pretend I need to get out of here. I cannot go on that stage just to be a volunteer and do something silly. It was just too much. Physical phobia. Doing a webinar when I first started in business and knowing that I've got to get some people on a webinar and speak on a webinar with slides without them even being able to see my face. It would wind me up for weeks, and I'd over prepare, and I'd feel sick on the lead up to it. I'd not sleep on the lead up to it. Live videos changed all of this to the point where I literally, and I honestly don't mean this from a overconfident point of view, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it, but featuring on TV last week didn't faze me at all. It didn't faze me at all. You'll be amazed how much you can grow and evolve, and how much live videos play a part on Facebook. They do. Massive opportunity, not just for you to be visible, for you to grow in confidence speaking. Because in the Fox TV studio, it's not live. So I went in there, and there's a couch and a TV set, like a green screen, with a presenter who was famous in Florida. She's a pretty big deal, and that was quite, I'm talking to a famous person, but I felt like I was sat on a couch having a chat about what I know, like what I do every day. Yeah, there's cameras in front of you and there's people behind those cameras, but it's not live, you can't get it wrong. I was really, really relaxed. I don't know if you've caught the interview yet. If you haven't, you can check it out, it's on this page below. But genuinely, if you watch it, you'll see that I was cool as a cucumber, like genuinely. Can you imagine if 4 years ago, I wouldn't even run a webinar, to being told you'll be on TV in a few years? It would have felt ridiculous. But live videos, honestly, live videos on Facebook is what has helped increase my confidence enough to be able to do that. Just showing up and doing it, just showing up and doing it again and again and again and again and again and again. And at first feeling sick, and then second time feeling sick, and then third time it being a little bit better, but doing it so much that it becomes comfortable. Don't underestimate the power of visibility for growing your brand, for growing you into the person that you need to become to do bigger things in the future. Number 3, be patient and be consistent. So this is the third do. Do be patient. Do be patient and do be consistent. So many people underestimate what they can do in 5 years and overestimate what they can do in 5 months. And by overshooting what they can do in 5 months, they get deflated, forget what they could possibly do in 5 years, and end up giving up, quitting, slowing down, procrastinating, because they get deflated with the short-term results and forget about the long-term vision. Who you can grow into and what you can achieve in 5 years is phenomenal. When I go back 4 years to not being able to afford a corn dog in Universal Studios, I overestimated what was possible for me massively. I used to beat myself up because I'd had a bad month. I used to set yearly goals, quarterly goals, and then beat myself up because I was nowhere near. But if someone had just said to me, in 4 years, you'll have a millionaire style lifestyle, you'll have $1 million business, you'll be buying a house cash, you'll be doing all these really cool things, then I'd have relaxed into it and gone, do you know, it doesn't matter what I'm doing in the next 3 months, then I'll get by, it's okay. As long as I know where I'm going and I know what's possible for me, and that's what we need to really hold on to. Does it matter that we missed a goal this month? The next 5 years are going to be totally different as long as we just don't give up, don't allow those short-term goals to consume us. One of the biggest things that causes this is putting financial pressure on ourselves, quitting jobs too soon, having no financial backup plan, because then it's like, right, in 5 months money runs out, therefore I need this amount of money in 5 months. What happens in 5 months if you haven't got it? Panic. The shit hits the fan. It's a crisis because we've underestimated what we can do in 5 months, and because we've overestimated what we can do in 5 months and underestimated what we can do in 5 years. Always have a short-term financial plan and then a backup plan for that financial plan. Who knows how long it's going to take you to succeed? Who knows how long it's going to take you to grow into the person you need to become to have the success that you want? No one knows that, because the thing is, you can have the best strategy laid out in front of you, but you've got to be the person that can implement and execute that strategy with confidence and get results from it. I can hand you a script right now, my script, seriously, for you right now. I can send you a template script that I use that has generated me as a lead magnet 6 figures in a month. I can send that to you, I can gift it to you. Will it generate you 6 figures in a month? Maybe, maybe not. Because it's not just about reading from the script. You can have the script, but can you deliver it with confidence? Can you use the right tone to deliver it? Can you know at what point, if you get an objection to that script, that sales script, how to handle those objections and think on your feet? And have you grown into that person yet? Can you go into it with the right mindset and the right energy to get the right result that you want? Maybe not. I don't know, because I'm not you, but it's not the strategy, it's the person implementing it. Yes, you need the strategy, but you also need to develop the attitude, the mindset, the skills of somebody that has the success. I tell you something, when you grow into that person, you will never worry again about money. You won't. Because you know that no matter what happens, it can all be taken from you tomorrow. It could all implode like it did for me 4 years ago and lose a massive contract that was worth 6 figures to me. But I wouldn't have any sleep at night about it again, because it doesn't matter, because I can create it again. I can generate the leads, create the sales and do it again, because I'm that person and you're that person, and that's what gives you the confidence, not the results, not the money in the bank. You can have $1 million in the bank and still be lying awake at night worrying about losing it, worrying about not being able to replace it if something goes wrong. You've got to be patient in the person that you're becoming. It's not what you know, it's who you are that gets results. If you don't have the results that you want, don't look out here, we've got to look in here and be super patient with ourselves, but also be really consistent in that, because it's so easy to go, well, I'm implementing this strategy, I'm implementing it, and it's not working, and lose patience and then stop being as consistent because we start allowing the emotions to take over and lose a little bit of belief. Be patient, be consistent, and know that you're on your way. They're the do's, now the don'ts. 3 don'ts. Number 1, do not take advice from people not in the same arena as you or above. So what I mean by that is, there are people that will try and give you advice. There are people that will try and tell you how to run your business, how to run your life. Do not be tempted to take on their opinions, take on their feedback, unless they have the lifestyle and results that you desire. Some of these could even be family members. I'm not even talking like negative people or naysayers necessarily, although you will meet a lot of them along the way as well. They could just be your family. They could just be people that love you and want the best for you. Like, want to give you the best advice because they love you, but don't necessarily know the right business advice to give you, and therefore get it wrong, and you take that on. There could be people with just opinions. I always say opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has one, and they're not all pretty. Because they do, and you're going to be subjected to so many people's opinions that what you've got to do when it comes to your business is stop and say, are you in the same arena as me? Because if not, then you're limited in your ability to give me opinion. You're limited in your ability to give me feedback. Some of the feedback will be uninvited as well. But what we must never do is allow it to change us, because smart people in business recognise that if I take advice from someone, I become them. If I surround myself with people that are struggling, that are negative, that are blaming, that are bitching, moaning, bad-mouthing, I'm going to become you. If I surround myself with people that believe it's not possible, it doesn't work, then I'm going to become those results. But if I want to be more, have more, then I must learn to listen from the people that have the results that we want, even if I don't always get it sometimes, even if I'm limited in my thinking sometimes, because I don't always understand what they're trying to tell me to do, because I'm not quite there yet, I don't quite have the same experience, but it's being open to everything and attached to nothing in those circumstances. Number 2 in the don'ts. Don't make business decisions from an emotional space. You have to learn to be strategic, which can be really difficult when it's your business, your baby, and there's lots of fears and emotions involved. But making business decisions based on emotion is a little bit like getting really pissed on Prosecco and feeling like your decisions are smart, like they never are. That you always look back and go, oh, what was I thinking? Because you kind of, your mind's just not thinking straight. That's what it's like making emotional business decisions. You look back at some point and go, that wasn't very smart. I wish I hadn't done that. So it's the same, you know, if you know that you're making decisions because you're scared, you're making decisions because there's beliefs that you need to work through, you're making decisions because that person told you that was shit, even though they've got no experience and no sort of results of their own to measure it by, but they've told you that you're not good at something, they've told you that you should do something different, and it's made you feel shit, it's made you shrink back, or all of that stuff that you could maybe make decisions based on. Don't do it, because the only decisions we should be making in business are strategic ones, based on knowledge from people that are more successful than we are, based on stats, ratios, based on numbers, based on research, based on analytics, not based on, does it frighten me? Not based on, well, my uncle said that it's not a good idea because people won't pay that amount for it. That is not a strategic decision, that's emotion. Your uncle said something, it's triggered you. We've gone, oh God, what if people don't buy it? And we've gone into emotion. It's like making decisions drunk on Prosecco. Remember that. What do you need to do in that decision, in that moment that you feel a little bit emotional? Get somebody that's impartial, that's not emotional about your business. Get around people that can look at it from objectively, from a strategic point of view, that don't have the same emotion attached, but that have experience and that have the results that you want. Remember that bit. And get them, their opinion on it. Or ask, am I being emotional with this decision, or am I being strategic? What would you do? What should I do? Ask the questions. Number 3 on the don'ts list, do not judge. Drop all judgment. Make a commitment tonight to drop all judgment, all of it. And when I say all of it, that means judging up and judging down, because it leads you to the same place. Another word we could use for it is comparison. If you see people achieving where you're not achieving, you can very easily see their achievements as your failures. The two aren't even relevant, but we form a connection. Because we're like, oh, they're doing that, I should be doing that. Saying I should is judgment. Saying they're doing that and I can't do that, or I should be doing that, is comparison. And it makes you feel shit. And it deflates you. And it spirals you into a negative pattern of, I should be further along, why am I not achieving? Oh my God, this is never going to work for me. And down we go. That's judgment. Judgment is also, could be judgment of, in another way, of when we're doing really well, we can almost go too high and end up judging people in a negative way, like, oh, I would never do that. Oh, they're doing that? Oh, I would never do that. That's so below me. Or I'm getting all these results. I don't need help anymore. We almost go the other way and end up judging people that are struggling. Or maybe someone hurt you and you judge them for hurting you. I would never treat people like that. How dare they? Any judgment, the reason it's not a good thing and the reason comparison isn't a good thing is because either way it takes you out of fascination mode and it takes you out of learning and growth mode. If you can look at someone and go, they're achieving, and that really fucking pisses me off, you're human. Allow yourself that time. I've done it. I've looked at people that are achieving when I'm stuck in struggle and gone, bitch, oh, I really like her and I want her to win, but it really makes me feel shit about myself that she's constantly doing everything that I can't do right now. Who hasn't felt like that? If you say you haven't, then maybe you're not there yet in your journey. At some point as a successful entrepreneur, you will compare yourself and you'll do it in an unhealthy way. And it'll catch you out when you're feeling a little bit low and you're in struggle, someone's achieving. And you'll feel that way, let's be really honest, you will. We all do. But in that moment, you've got a decision to make. You can, don't want to look at them, or they make me feel really crap, or let's just stop going on Facebook. Or you can go and seek out some people that aren't achieving and have a moan with them, because that always makes people feel much better, but it never gets you anywhere. What you'd be better doing is going, no, I need to be around these people. The ones that are achieving, I need to get myself more in front of them. As much as they make me feel bad about myself right now, it's also them that are going to grow me and stretch me. Because if you're the most intelligent person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So let me get in front of them. Let me send them a message and say, do you know what? Your achievements are amazing. I'll be honest with you, they even piss me off. They're that good sometimes. So I thought I better reach out to you and say, come on, what's the difference? Here's what I'm struggling with. What did you do? Speak to people. Share your vulnerabilities with them, find out what makes the difference for them. What are they doing you're not doing? What have they mastered that you've not mastered? Don't go, oh, I can't look at them because it makes me feel so shit about myself. Because it's not a growth mindset. It's you coming from a place of judgment and comparison. And it's normal, you're not a bad person because you do it, we've all done it. But try and challenge yourself in those moments to go, no, I'm going to judge. I'm not going to judge myself harshly. I'm not going to judge them even and think, oh, because they're achieving those things, they're not going to want to speak to me. It's all judgy, it's all rubbish. I'm going to get myself around them. I'm going to push myself out of my comfort zone. I'm going to ask the right questions. I'm going to work on this. And they're the 3 don't. So let's just quickly recap the do's. Be really clear on who you want to help, how you want to help them, what the story is behind it, and what the mission is behind it, and make sure it's really, really clearly defined and articulated. Provide a solution to someone's problem, be specific, be niche. The more niche you are, the more successful you'll be. Number 2, be ridiculously visible within that niche. Market. Live videos, use them to grow you, use them to get your message out there. Don't stop talking about the things you need to talk about to help the people you need to help, because when they need your help, they'll think of you. Market research tells us people need to see things 7 times before they act on it. So don't go, oh, I did a live video and got a tumbleweed, I don't want to do them anymore. Keep freaking going. Which brings us on to step 3, be patient and be consistent. You're a work in progress. It's not going to happen overnight. It doesn't matter what strategy you're exposed to. It's you that makes the difference when implementing it. If you had your hands on a strategy, for example, and you're like, it's not working, do not go shiny new penny. What else can I be doing? Who else can help me? What other strategy might work for me? It will be the same results. Because it's you that makes the difference to go within. Who do I need to become? What do I need to work on? How do I need to implement it, execute it better? How do I need to be better? In the words of Jim Rohn, don't wish you were easier, wish you were better. 3 don'ts. Number 1, don't take advice from people that aren't in the same arena as you, that don't have the same lifestyle that you want to create, the income you want to create, the success that you want. You take advice from someone, you become them. Look at them and ask yourself, do I want to become you? If the answer is no, smile and say thank you for your opinion and then leave it on the table. Number 2, make business decisions from a strategic place, not an emotional space. We're women, we get emotional. It's our business, it's our baby, we get emotional about it. Remove the emotion. If you can't do it alone, hire someone that can and help them that can help you look at it from a strategic point of view. And number 3, don't judge, don't compare. It's the mother of all fuck ups, because you look at someone and go, oh, it's so amazing, I could never be like them, rather than going, help me become like you. And you end up judging yourself too harshly. Let go of, I should do this, I should be there, I should by now be this person, because it only makes you feel shit. And the reality is you should be exactly where you are right now, because that's where you're at. And if you want to get to somewhere different, then you're only going to get there by quitting the judging, quitting the comparisons, and working hard to fix it. But from a good space, being okay with where you are. Don't forget, don't underestimate what you can do in 5 years and overestimate what you can do in 5 months and be deflated and not end up hitting the 5-year goal. Now, I've got something for you. It might be of interest to you, it might not, and that's okay either way. But having just got back from America, I'm now in a position where I'm looking at my diary and saying, okay, I've got some availability now to work with new people in 2 ways. One, on a one-to-one basis. I've only got one space for one-to-one because I work with 5 women a year. So just one space for one-to-one. Now, one-to-one is really intense. It's for 3 months. We work together like bezies. Like, we are going to talk every single day. We're going to meet every single week. It's really intense. It's really fast-paced. We get a lot of shit done in 3 months. But it's not for the faint-hearted. So you're going to need to speak to me to work out whether that's a fit. The other way that I have spaces to work with right now is in my 12-month group mentorship program. A few spaces have become available unexpectedly, which is great news for you. If you're a female entrepreneur that wants to learn all this and more and develop a 6 or 7-figure business and is really ready to be stretched in a premium level environment with my support, that's a group program. So that's group and one-to-one combined, more group than one-to-one. Not as intense, but it's a 12-month period, so it's longer. So they're the 2 spaces that I've got available at the moment. So you must be a service-based woman entrepreneur. I like men, but I just don't work with them because we're different and we have different needs. You must be somebody that has ambitions for a multiple 6, 7-figure business. It doesn't matter where you are. You might be starting from scratch, but you need to be someone that's ready to go, make no excuses, run with me alongside you, and has the attitude of, if it's to be, it's up to me, I need to be better, and I'm ready for someone to help me become better. I'm not going to give you a magic wand to wave and make all your problems go away. I'm going to work you really, really hard, and I'm going to teach you strategies, but we're also going to help you with mindset. So you've got to be ready to really take on both of those things with a no excuse attitude and run with it this year. You've got to be ready to invest in yourself because I'm not free. So if that sounds like you, we need to have a call, and that call's going to be around 45 minutes where I can learn more about your business, give you some value in that time as well that you can go away with, so that whether we work together or not, you go away better than when I found you. And then we can decide in that call if it's a fit. And it's not always, but if it's not, then I'll always do my best to put you in contact with someone that might be a fit. So only apply for the call if you're super serious and ready to step up and work with me right away. I'm going to put the link to the call above this video so that you can fill in an application form to apply for a call. Now, the reason I put the application form in place is because I can't help everybody. I'm not equipped to help everybody. I've got a set of skills and experience that's applicable to some people's businesses, but it's not applicable to everybody. So filling in the application form will help me understand if I'm the best person to help you before we jump on that call and take up some of each other's time. When the spaces have gone, they're gone. So act fast, fill in the application form straight away. And thank you so much for logging in tonight, listening to the trading. I hope you got some value.